I wanted to talk today about kind of the breadth of cameras that somebody who's been shooting images for 30 plus years for the absolute fun of it, right? There's been a little bit of work related stuff in there, but for the most part, everything I do with a camera is something that I want to do with the camera. So I thought it would be interesting for people to know, what does somebody who has been doing it that long, what kind of gear do they end up with after a long period of buying and selling? A lot of my friends would say I have gear acquisition syndrome because I'm constantly switching out gear. I'm pretty responsible. I do buy and sell on eBay, and I try to, if I'm not using something, I get rid of it. So I do not have a lot of money in camera equipment, but I have settled on the fact that I absolutely have to have a full frame camera. I enjoy the look of that, the sensitivity to light. I just enjoy having, that type of camera around. So the one that I'm recording this on is the Sony A7C, which is their smallest, because I do like to carry a light gear as much as I can because I want to keep the fun level up and I want to make more images, so I like to keep light gear. So A7C is what I have, and it's actually rocking right now a lens that I got at a garage sale for $15. Konica, I think it's a 57 millimeter 1.4, it's way you can adapt old lenses. I love old Nikon lenses to that, and you can use that to your heart's content. I also have a 20 and a 40 that are more modern lenses that I use with that full frame sensor. So that's kind of the full frame. I do love having that. I know there's a whole plethora of ideas of different cameras for that, but Sony is relatively inexpensive compared to a lot of for full frame gear, and the photos are fantastic. So that's what I have. The other camera that if you've ever seen any video of me on YouTube, you've probably seen the one where I talk about the X100. It's my absolute favorite camera. I know that from a size, this is a little bit smaller than the Sony, but it's enough. It's enough smaller that I would carry this everywhere. It's a beautiful looking camera, so I do use this a lot. I just enjoy taking photos with it. It's a camera that most of these are kind of older cameras, not the most modern ones, but this one seems to hold its value a little more. I think there's some type of chip shortage that makes the prices go up and down. And then the other camera that kind of hits the wider, the longer spectrum is the GX8 by Lumix, which I think a lot of people who do photography now have no idea what Micro Four Thirds even is. If you're new to the space, right? Canon, Nikon, Sony, and full frame was the best thing because it's full frame. Well, before all that happened in digital photography, Micro Four Thirds had its heyday, and I grew up under Micro Four Thirds, so I know some of the distinct advantages that they bring. And after buying huge lenses like the Sigma Contemporary, and even Fujifilm makes an amazing kit of zoom lenses, I thought back on Micro Four Thirds and I thought, the advantage with Micro Four Thirds is that because the sensor's small, the lens can be small, and you're actually going a lot farther, right? So this is the GX8. I had the GX85 as well, but this is a little bit nicer, more professional. It's got a nice big eye cup, the little flippy screen like most of the stuff. And then the lens that's on it is a 100 to 300, not a fast lens, but a very inexpensive choice. And I'm sorry I don't know the prices to everything. I will put them up on screen when I edit this video. But this 100 to 300 is super amazing stabilization, and it essentially becomes a 200 to 600 on this camera. So this is great for shooting the moon, shooting wildlife, any of those things that are really far away. And look at the weight of this. I mean, you could carry this all day and you wouldn't, and that's kind of the mantra of somebody who enjoys photography. they want to make it enjoyable at all times. So this is my recommendation for that. It has a secret, something that it's been there for so long. Panasonic's put this on all of their cameras. I don't know if any other manufacturers do this, and it's the crop sensor mode, right? Yeah, you can have full frame. Sony puts a crop sensor, so you can get from full frame to a crop sensor, and you can do some video, and that's cool. But this is on another level because it's already a huge crop. It has a lossless video. I think it's 720p. It could be 1080, but it's so sharp that it won't matter to you. And this 600, I believe it becomes, I want to say an 800. So it's imagine hand holding 800 like this with something this light, stabilized. It can be done. I'm going to find some footage and I'll put it in here while I'm talking so you can see the amazing things that you can do with this. So that kind of constitutes what somebody who's been taking photos for fun for 30 years, buying and selling gear, what do they end up with? A full frame kit of some kind. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Buy the cameras that are 2 or 3 years old. Take the same pictures. Nobody can tell. And then a Micro Four Thirds, if you're into stuff far away, right? This is the cheapest, smallest, lightest way you're going to get to those things. Now, if you want low light, you're going to have to spend a lot of more money. The lenses get more expensive, etc. But you could do so much with this. So that's it. I just wanted to share. I thought it would be interesting for somebody who is new to photography to kind of take a look at where somebody like me who's been around for so long, what kind of camera systems do they end up with? Because a lot of people try to buy and sell. I think that if you really love all gamuts of photography, you're going to want to have maybe at least two camera systems. This one's kind of a luxury thing and a very niche thing, but at least have two camera systems, and do not be afraid to buy used and to rock old gear. I guarantee you that the photos, once you are good enough, the photos won't be really judged by the gear that you have.